I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you haven't reached your goals or you've fallen off track with your goals, it's not because you're lazy, it's not because you're weak, it's not even because you're unmotivated. It's because you don't have the right system, sis. You're ready to step into your greatness and make your dreams a reality. I know that you are. The only problem is you need a system to get you there that actually works. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Tiffany Salton-Mariol, neuropsychologist, published author, and founder of Mod Ambition. I post every week on how to plan, manifest, and enjoy your dream life. If you're into that stuff, please tappity tap that subscribe button. So when you aren't achieving the things you want in your life, it can feel like you're breaking promises to yourself or you really aren't living up to your potential. By the end of today's episode, you're going to know an in-depth summary of the book 12-Week Year. And don't worry about taking notes. I have a free 12-week year PDF download for you that includes a cheat sheet summary of the 12-week year book, as well as a weekly template to apply it to your own life and goals. If you want to do them effectively, it's going to require a deeper dive and process than any PDF template or Notion template, really. And you can do this on your own using the summary portion of the PDF that I'm going to provide for you guys in the description below. You can also use my Mod Ambition Planner, which includes systems and strategies to do all of this. Whichever method that you choose, I do suggest doing it by hand because research has shown that those that write their goals down with pen and paper are more likely to achieve them. Or to put it more eloquently, in the words of Erica Baidu, write it down on real paper with real pencil and watch shit get real. So be sure to stick around to the end because I promise this is going to be the most helpful video on YouTube on the 12-week year. And I know that's a bold promise, but I did a lot of work, research on this episode to make sure that I can keep that promise to you. So be sure to stick around to the end. This might shock you, but achieving your goals starts with a mindset, not actions. Really. This is why the 12-week year authors start with shifting your mindset. And the big shift that they want you to make is from annualization thinking to periodization. So essentially, instead of thinking in yearly goals, you're going to think in periods. And really, you're going to redefine your year from 52 weeks to just 12 weeks. And this is really helpful because you get to capitalize on the energy that comes with the beginning of the year and the end of the year in much shorter periods. You also get to capitalize on that energy 4 times a year. And that energy is like this sense of urgency. And the book talks about how urgency leads to action. So when you have just 12 weeks to get something done versus 52 weeks, you're going to be more urgent and you're going to be more focused and aligned with your goals. And the book's authors say that planning in a 12-week year is better because it's more predictable. It creates a stronger and faster connection between actions and results, and it's more focused. Okay, now that you have the mindset of a 12-week year, I want you to tune into your inner Miss Cleo and have a vision. And what I mean by this is discipline 1 in the book, which is to develop a vision. Now, you guys know I'm going to mention it in the Mod Ambition Planner. That is the ultimate guide to helping you to create this vision and to do it using achievement psychology and vision casting and using proven mindset strategies. So if you want support in creating this vision, be sure to check out the Mod Ambition Planner. It's a 2-in-1 planner, so it has that goal planner, but you also get the 90-day planner, which I have a whole video on how to use the Mod Ambition Planner with a 12-week year. Or you can do this type of work on your own. Whatever the case, whether you do it with support or you do it on your own, you want to make sure that you have a larger vision before you set out into making these period goals, because you want to be working towards something larger than just the 12 weeks. You want to be working towards creating, for me, this dream life. So you want to have this vision that encompasses your values, your intentions, what's most important to you in life, and then those moon goals, as I call them in the Mod Ambition Planner, and those star goals that are going to help you get there. So moon goals are those like larger than life goals. Those are our yearly goals, sometimes our 5-year goals. And you can even have yearly star goals, or you can save those for the quarter. And star goals are just how you're going to jump from each star to get to that moon goal. It's based on this quote from Les Brown that said, "Reach for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars." So you really want to have that vision of what's the moon for you and why is that moon for you, right? What are your values, your intentions that make that moon your goal before just jumping into setting targets for your 12 weeks. It's like, first, sis, where are you going, right? And the book mentions 4 common pitfalls that happen when we're creating our vision that people may fall into that doesn't create a successful vision. The first one is you don't take the power of your vision seriously. I saw a quote quote by J. Cole on TikTok. Actually, it was a video of him speaking, talking about manifesting your dreams. And the very first thing that he said is you really, really have to create this larger than life vision and believe in it, right? This is the law of attraction that I have so many videos about on this channel, but you want to take it seriously, that it can actually happen and that it's based on what's really, really important to you, which is the second common pitfall that the authors mention, which is the vision isn't meaningful to you. So that vision may be based on what your parents told you should be doing or what you feel like you have to be doing because you got a degree in A, B, and C, but it's not really powerful for you. It's what you should be doing, right? And not what you want for yourself and for your life. So make sure that it's meaningful to you. The third pitfall is your vision is too small. So you're not thinking big enough. You guys know I'm spending way too much time on TikTok, but there's another TikTok video that comes to mind that says, think big, B, think big. I want you to hear that man in your head. I'll try to find the clip of him, but think big and make sure that it's something that you're reaching for that's going to stretch you to become a better, more evolved person. And then the fourth pitfall is you don't connect your vision to your daily actions. So sometimes we're just dreaming, but we don't have the aligned actions. Those are those SMART STAR goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. We're going to talk more about that, but you don't have a way to actually jump from star to star to get to the moon. You're just kind of in the clouds, not taking those aligned actions or not even thinking about taking those aligned actions to get you there. And so what do you do not to avoid those pitfalls? The book offers 5 success tips. The first one is to share your vision. I will add to share it with people that you trust. I would just want to share my vision with anyone, maybe your partner, maybe your higher power. The second success tip is to stay in touch with your vision. In the Mod Ambition Planner, it's right at the beginning, right before your 90-day planner. So you always have it with you. I just kind of look at my vision board in the morning. I look at my goals in the morning. I stay in touch with my moon goals and my intentions because I have it right then and there. If you don't have the Mod Ambition Planner, I suggest finding a way to keep it top of mind, especially if you're a digital girly, maybe printing something out, putting it on your wall, or putting it in your journal, something that you look at day to day. The third success tip for your vision is to live with intention. I have a whole video I did on how to live more intentionally if you're trying to get started with that. You can also set your intention daily in the Mod Ambition Planner. If your attention has strayed, if you're doing something else while watching this or listening to this, I want you to listen up, come back to me, because this next discipline is the meat and potatoes of the whole system. So make sure you're tuned in. Discipline 2 is to plan your execution using the 12-week year. So firstly, you're going to set your quarterly goals. You're going to set your 12-week goals based on your vision and your moon goals. You're going to say, this 12 weeks, this is what I want to do in this quarter to get there. You can do this in a couple different ways. I like to make these fractions of my moon goals sometimes, and then sometimes I just like to make them straight SMART goals, or what they call lead goals. So in the book 12-week year, there's 2 types of goals that they talk about. Lag goals, which are those larger outcomes, right? Those could be your moon goals. They can also be your full quarter goals. And there's lead goals, which are the actions that you can control that you're going to take that are going to lead to those lag goals. And so when it comes to setting your quarter goals, let's just use an example. Let's say you want to reach 100K subscribers on YouTube for the year. That's your lag moon yearly goal. So when it comes to the quarter, you can make that quarterly goal a lead goal or a fraction of that lag goal. So it might, if you want to make your quarter goal a lag goal, it would be, I want to gain, let's say, 30,000 subscribers this 12 weeks. That would be the lag goal for your quarter, a fraction lag goal for your quarter. Or you could have a quarterly goal of, let's say, if you're trying to get to 100K, post every day on YouTube. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, just leave a question below. I respond to all my comments and I'll get back to any questions. Then you're going to decide on your tactics to get you there. So these are your SMART quarterly lead goals. You want to make them SMART, which I already mentioned, and my planner details this for you. That's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. The book kind of describes this in a different way. They mention make them specific and measurable, state them positively. So instead of saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, you might say, I want to weigh 120. So you state them in the positive. Ensure that they're realistic stretch, so very similar to the R in SMART. Assign accountability and make sure that they're time bound. So you have your quarter, You have your SMART goals for the quarter. Then you want to set priorities to make this happen. I like to use my month's goals as my priorities. So there's 3 months in those 12 weeks, right? And each month, my monthly goals are my priorities that are going to get me to my quarterly goals. And these monthly goals are going to be similar. They're going to be SMART. They're going to be their priorities each month to get you to that quarterly goal. All right, really quickly, before we move on to the next discipline, if you're finding this information helpful, please smash that like button and be sure to subscribe. It really helps me to keep showing up to give you guys the best information on planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Okay, are you ready to hear how to actually reach these goals that you've set for yourself in only 12 weeks? Discipline number 3 is to control the process. So the first way you're going to control that process is with weekly and daily planning to reflect on your progress, course correct if you need to, and really double down on what's working for you. And a big piece of this planning is time blocking and time auditing. The Mod Ambition Planner is perfect for this. On the daily planning pages, you have time blocking, and you can also go back and time audit. There's a special section each day to see, am I really doing what I planned? And even if I am, is it helping me move closer to my goals? And let's say you use a digital planner, you might want to go back and just kind of jot down maybe in a journal or next to what you plan, you can maybe type it in. Did you actually do what you planned? And you can use maybe time blocking with color coding. Whatever way you're doing it, you want to make sure that you're planning weekly and daily and also going back and auditing your time to make sure that you're doing that. We'll talk more about how to do so and how the template I have for you guys can help you with that sort of keeping score process in just a second. But first, as it pertains to planning, the book talks a few different things that you need to make sure that you're planning each week in order to meet your goals. So the first one is a 3-hour strategic time block, which is going to help you get into the deep work. So you want to be able each week to have at least one strategic 3-hour block in your schedule that you can really take a deep dive and get into a flow state of working to work towards whatever goal that you have for yourself. The second thing you're going to want to plan for yourself is 1 to 2 30 to 60 minute buffer block. I put buffer blocks in my schedule every single day. Number 1, because things take longer than you think they're going to take to get done. And then number 2, just to accommodate for things like low value tasks like email and different administrative things. So you want to put those buffers in your schedule as well. And then the other thing that you want to plan out is a 3-hour breakout block to do non-work things. So getting away from work is important to recharge yourself and to stay sharp. If you want to create a sustainable hustle, you need to have some self-care, and scheduling it is a way to make it a priority so you know that it's going to get done. And then everything else has to fall around your priorities towards your goals. So things like meetings and appointments, all those things you plan around those different blocks. The authors also mentioned 3 activities that are going to be really helpful for you when it comes to planning and controlling the process of meeting your goals in just 12 weeks. Number 1 is take 15 minutes every week. They say on Mondays, but I do mine on Fridays, to decide when you're going to complete your actions that are due for you this week. So you have those tactics and those priorities. You want to have at least 15 minutes. I do this in my planning routine on Fridays to really think about, okay, next week, when and how am I going to do those different things and where am I going to put those blocks? Another key thing that we've already talked about is rereading your vision each and every morning. It's nice to have it in your planner. If you use a paper planner, that way you can just refer to it every single day before looking at your schedule for the day. Another key activity is taking 5 minutes to review your day and see how your actions align with your vision. We talked about that already with the time auditing. Fourthly, they suggest joining what they call a WHAM call, so a weekly accountability meeting. This is a 20-minute meeting weekly that you can do where you share your success and your challenges with others. This is going to help keep you very, very accountable. Okay, so this next discipline from the book, The 12-Week Year, is what's going to catapult your success and actually keep you on track. Discipline number 4 is to measure your progress. We changed our mindset. We had a vision. We controlled the process, and now we're going to measure our progress. And this is where the free template in the printable below is going to come in very, very handy. So on the first page, you're going to see the summary of everything I'm going over here of the 12-week year. And then the second page of the downloadable is going to be a free printable printable template that you can print as many as you want to be able to measure your progress. So each week you're going to score your week with tracking, specific tracking of helping you stay on track with your goals. The book says scorekeeping lets us know if what we're doing is actually effective. And each week you're going to be measuring, or you're going to be scoring yourself on your lead and your lag indicators, and really analyzing how much closer you're moving close to those lag indicators, and how consistent are you staying with those tactics and priorities, those lead goals that you have for yourself each week. Every week you're going to calculate the percent of actions you accomplish. So let's say you have a goal of running 5 times a week. If you ran 4 out of those 5 days, that's 80%. And it's not always fun to score yourself, but it's really, really helpful to keep you mindful and be able to course correct in a timely fashion. The book calls this staying away from blissful ignorance. The authors say you need a score of at least 85% to know that you're going in the right direction. If you don't achieve this score, you already know your goal won't be achieved. So you want to stay at least around 85% range. I won't go as far to say as your goal can't be achieved, but that means you're going to have to work a little bit harder in those following weeks. It just helps to stay on track with that, at least 85% or more. Now, this next 12-week year discipline is certainly my secret weapon when it comes to staying on track with your goals. Discipline 5 is time management. I do have a video called How to Stick to Your Schedule and Actually Do What You Plan, which I will link, that gives so many tips on productivity, but being productive is going to be so helpful. And one of the main things that is going to help you be productive is eliminating distractions so that you can stay focused when you're working. 3 easy ways to stay focused while you're working are put your phone away, use the Pomodoro method, and use alpha wave study music. And then you can have a wind up work routine where you put your phone away, you set your timer for the Pomodoro method, you turn on your alpha wave study music, and then you put that all on autopilot. Another thing that's going to help your productivity is having a healthy foundation. I teach my clients, specifically, I teach them certain 4 behaviors they need to make sure they're doing every single day to make sure they feel great. I want to share those with you too. So the acronym is MAPS. So if you think about the journey to getting what you want as like a road trip, this is what I called MAPS in my program. It's what guides you there. Let your vibe be your guide. The first part is the M, which is mindfulness. And these are activities so you can stay connected to the present moment. The second piece is the A, which is appreciation, which that just means having a gratitude practice of your choice. The third piece is pleasure. That's the P. And then the S stands for self-care and self-compassion. So you want to... Okay, so by now we probably all heard that Beyonce motivational speech floating around social media about stay focused.
Stay focused. Don't talk about what you're going to do. Don't just dream about what you're going to do. Don't criticize somebody else for what they're not doing. You be it. Be about it. Be about that action and go do it. Keep your eye on your intention. Don't let any outside distraction or your own insecurity stop you from your goals. Embrace that struggle. Surviving that struggle will strengthen you.
But you might be thinking, but how? But how, sis? How are we supposed to stay focused and do all the things? I want to share with you some of the really helpful high performance principles in the book 12-Week Year that have really helped me and I think could be useful for you on your journey as well. The first principle of high performance that the book details is accountability breeds success. We are social creatures. If we can have any element of accountability, it's going to help us be more successful. So I was even thinking that we could do some sort of accountability on this channel. I was going to maybe start doing some lives and we could talk about our successes and our challenges. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. About accountability, the authors say accountability is not consequences, but ownership. It is a character trait, a life stance, a willingness to own your actions and results regardless of the circumstances. And this is how they say that you can take this type of ownership. The first one is to resolve to never be the victim again. Yes, things may happen to you, but you want to empower yourself to know that you have the power to change your life no matter what happens, and you can do that in a way that's meaningful to you. The second thing that they advise is to stop feeling sorry for yourself. So again, it follows that theme of empowering yourself to instill power and believe that you have the ability to change your life. The third thing is to be willing to take different actions. So you want to be able to know that this is a becoming process. When you put yourself on this 12-week journey, journey to accomplish your goals. You're not only trying to get an end result, it's about that journey, right? And you're going to be becoming, and you want to be willing to take the actions to become who you need to be. And then fourth, you want to associate with accountable. So other people that are willing to take ownership, hold you accountable, that hold themselves accountable, those type of high performing people, or that are trying to be high performing and change their life for the better. And according to the authors, there are 3 things that you can do to strengthen your commitment. You want to have a strong desire, so you really, really want it. 2 is keystone actions. 3 is counting the cost before committing. So it's important to consider your personal values and your life domains when you're making these goals for yourself. What season are you in? And then really thinking about the cost to get there. And then 4 is acting on commitments, not feelings. This really ties into what I always talk about on this channel, which is committed action. This requires learning to accept and learn from challenging emotions, thoughts, and even situations, and being able to accept them, process them, and still commit to taking action that'll move you closer to where you want to be. And then another principle of this high performance is greatness in the moment. Like I mentioned, it's all about the journey, not the destination. And in that journey, in each and every present moment, you want to be great. You want to embody the greatness that you know you are. So I want you to fall in love with delayed gratification, and I want you to break up with instant gratification. The book says results are not the attainment of greatness, but simply a confirmation of it. And really, when it comes to greatness, the present moment is all we have to show up and show out. And then, like I mentioned before, when you're implementing all of this, I want you to consider something the book describes as the emotional cycle of change, right? When we are changing something about ourselves, which is usually a requirement of reaching any new goal, otherwise we would have it already, right? There is an emotional cycle that they describe that researchers Don Keeley and Daryl Connor wrote about in a paper, and I wanted to share those with you guys. I will put the chart up on the screen. It paints a visual picture of this. The first section is this uninformed optimism. So you're really hyped up because you don't really know what is required to reach this goal. Then as you start to learn some of the challenges or how difficult it is, or some of the things that come along with this goal, you start to move into these emotions of informed pessimism, which could lead to this valley of despair. Now you could do 2 things. You could quit and start all over on a new goal in this cycle, or you could persevere through that valley of despair using things like acceptance, self-compassion, a sustainable way to hustle, and you move into informed optimism where you know the challenges, you know you might face certain things, but you also know that you have the strength to overcome those things and persevere and still keep going and achieving, which leads to success and fulfillment, which is that last emotional state. And that really reminded me of the 5 stages of change that I described in my video, Why You Can't Stick to New Habits. I went through all the stages of change that we go through as it relates to establishing a new habit. This model is based on research, the trans-theoretical model that they did, where they tried to figure out why some smokers could quit on their own and why other people couldn't. And it all came down to, were they ready to quit? What stage of change were they at? And in that video, I also give you some prompts and questions and tips on how to move from one stage to the next. That way, if you do want to make that change, you can have some tools on moving through these stages. The book even says the first 12 weeks will be the most difficult and the most important. They will have you adjust your environment and your daily actions. But if you apply these routines consistently for 12 weeks, your goal will most likely become a reality. One key aspect, though, is to actually engage with this system and commit to it. Don't just dabble, which I like that word that they put in there. Okay, if you like this episode, please subscribe to the channel or follow the Mod Ambition podcast. I've teed up a video I did on how to actually stick to what you plan and stick to your schedule for you to watch next. Cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.